Steve and Seth McKinney
Yeah.
here in the studio, and Billy was going to finish some thoughts on the Brady Hart.
Great. Here we
Oh,
go.
God, here
Billy
we
just
go.
lead us off with more thoughts, continuation.
Come
Let's
on,
go.
Billy,
Let's hear
tell
it.
us how great he is.
What do you guys? Would you rather A&M not sign a quarterback or sign someone that's
I
no
want to
good?
talk about that.
Don't get me started.
What would you prefer on this one?
Tell us about him then.
No, just go out and get one of the top guys in the country. On this short of notice, when Longstreet he really did leave A&M high and dry. And then what Michigan did, and I don't know any Brady Hart or his family or camp enough to know like how much they were affected by like the Bryce Underwood thing, but just common sense would say as a quarterback going into a program, it has a big effect. But also just you have to imagine Michigan was so entirely committed to him with no QB committed in 25 that so much of that was going to him. I'm sure that the process of reclassifying, that doesn't happen overnight. You guys have kids, you can't just snap your fingers and all of a sudden you're going to graduate high school a year early.
You got to plan that.
So I'm sure that had to do with Michigan's quarterback situation, and then boom, Portnoy gets rolled in. Somebody told me to thank you. Was it you or Seth that came up with Walmart Day Portnoy? They said that was brilliant. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, if you can combine Portnoy's money and the Waltons, I mean, just throw me like some crumbs. But for them to do that, I'm sure it shook up everything. And A&M sitting here going, we really need a high school quarterback signee in 25.
Dimes. I like it.
And we are shut out. And all of a sudden for this to kind of open up and fall in A&M's lap, and I think A&M is a great situation for Brady Hart. And it wasn't like they hadn't recruited him. There was familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
To add him in 25 and then have Kasuga in 26, man, you got to really like what Colin Klein's got lined up, and seemingly kind of out of nowhere, because this was not expected. And
he wasn't really on the radar.
No, because he was unavailable. And he was certainly unavailable not only in 25, but also, period, being committed to Michigan. So,
and the beautiful thing,
huge.
It seems, is that that if he's coming in reclassifying and coming in this early, he's has to be patient. There's got to be zero impatience on his side to touch the field.
Got to be, because he's not coming into a situation where he's gonna be expected or needed to play early. So he's gonna have time to develop.
But he is coming into it. You say that, and I agree with definitely Marcel, and you've got Miles O'Neill in there going into your, but that's it. I mean, Connor can come back, but we watch enough college football, and we've seen how this season's gone. The reality is, you're probably going boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're not walking in to start day one, but man, you look at the situation, and there's not a heavy amount of numbers in that quarterback room, to the point that I'm not sure A&M doesn't need to. In fact, I would say, in my opinion, A&M should go out and add one more in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
If Connor were to move on.
I don't think you can have enough at that position.
Can you go into a season with three quarterbacks?
No.
One of them a true
I think
freshman,
you have to have,
and the other one that's played one quarter of football.
No, I think you have to have that many quarterbacks to work it to flush its way out. We've seen our quarterbacks get injured throughout the year.
Quality practice, even, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're always going with 4 groups out of practice.
So it definitely, I think that the more the merrier in that regard. At least 4.
Well,
sure.
and to go and get someone like that, and he can really sling it. Guys, go watch his tape. Watch that dude throw the football.
So he's a good quarterback.
Nice.
Yeah, they were also recruiting my boy Eli Morcos out of Lake Creek, which I think he's a hell of a player.
He's still coming this weekend, so don't go crawling into your tank just yet. Like I said, I do think whether it's high school, whether it's portal. I don't know how you can really get somebody in the portal unless it's just a guy I'm thinking of a
Yale transfer style.
Yeah, like that, or going back even before the portal when A&M signed somebody like Jake Hubenek, somebody like that, or Jalen Henderson was an addition that, where it was kind of like, wait, how does this fit into work in terms of starting? But and he ended up starting a few games, but Yeah, so don't go in the tank because your son played with him.
Well, I mean, he's a hell of a player, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good. He's
Well,
a good,
if he ends up being an Aggie, we'll get a full report from you, and I'd expect it to be a little better than what we get from Broninger, since he didn't mention a guy's name until a week ago, and now he's the foremost Morcos.
It was surprised how much that kid went under the radar.
Yeah,
and I think it was just because he didn't have enough. He only started his junior year, but I mean, he should have way more offers than he has.
He definitely looked a lot better to me. The tape from this year versus
last
year.
He made a big step up this year, and he should have better offers than what he's got.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying.
All right, guys.
Seth, you got any Drew Brees waiting in the wings for us?
No, I wish.
For those that don't know, like that's the ultimate
under the
kind of
radar.
late in signing class. You know, Seth and y'all's mom, Luann, were really pushing for
Drew
A&M to
Brees.
take this guy named Drew Brees from Austin Westlake, who's coming off. You know, he didn't play junior year, right, or because of an ACL, or did he?
No, we
end?
went. So we were in the fourth round and
Tore it at the
and
end.
He tore in the fourth round, and we lose the fifth round to the eventual state champions, and then we win the next year.
Yeah, with Drew. So he
yes.
had come off the ACL. Aggies and Longhorns couldn't make up their mind there.
Nobody recruited him.
And we got Matt Schobel.
You know.
And we got Matt Schobel.
Okay. Old Matt Schobel,
who's now at TCU and sending family members there, and that's him.
See how it goes with you.
And
Matt.
we got Joel
Thanks.
Bryan, who we're very grateful for here at College Station.
How we feeling, guys? I mean,
I feel
excited.
as good as it's ever been, baby.
Really?
I'm so excited, man.
Good.
I cannot wait.
I don't even know
wait.
my brain can't truly comprehend the atmosphere Saturday night, dude. I mean, you think about the Alabama game, the LSU games that we've been to here, the atmosphere at those games, and in my mind, I'm trying to think like, how could it get better than that?
It just will.
Better?
It just will, dude. Like,
And it probably will.
I've told my kids, I was like, take that Alabama game, take that LSU game, and just multiply it by 2, because I guarantee you've not seen anything like you're going to see this Saturday night. It's going to be insane environment, and I'm hopeful that we can live up to the environment, because the environment is going to be there.
Yeah,
it's going to be the greatest environment that I think any fan has ever stepped foot in
for sure
on the planet of Earth, outside of some crazy foreign soccer game or something. But this is going to be literally insane, and I cannot wait for it.
I'm with you. I'm with both of y'all. My thing is, as you sit there and talk, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be there. The 12th man's going to show up. It's going to be insane. Now, what we need to see is the A&M team needs to set it off. Like it's not going to be a powder keg. It's going to be completely unhinged, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to beat Texas, carry that atmosphere into later in the night when the temperatures drop.
Yep.
And you're in the fourth quarter of a ball game, or you're in the fourth quarter with a lead, or you're threatening to take whatever. Make that game matter in the fourth quarter, and we will have never seen anything like it. Like you said,
no
Seth,
doubt.
I don't think the people around the country watching will have seen anything like it. You know, it would be. I mean, look, you're talking about like some of those epic Alabama LSU battles before LSU came back
like
down
9-6. Those
times.
like
just that level of intensity and just like the whole country would be hanging on this thing.
You know,
you have a chance to have the entire country, not just the 110,000. But
just give us a 3 and out. 3 and out to start the game with the defense out
That's
there.
all you're asking.
Well, Seth, the biggest thing that these players have to be ready for in this game is that controlling that emotion.
Yeah.
Because it is going to be a high emotional game in the beginning, but in professional football, you learn to execute and focus on your fundamentals, your plays, your technique. You block out some of that emotion.
Yeah.
So if this team can do that, especially early on in the game, and let Texas be the one to kind of lose themselves with all the noise and the atmosphere, if you focus in on what you got to do, beating your man across from you every single play, block out the rest of the noise, that's how we're going to beat these guys, because we saw way too many mistakes, especially on defense last week against Auburn. Guys not being where they're supposed to be, out of position, not getting lined up quick enough before the snap. That's the kind of stuff we can't afford to have Saturday night.
Right, and we've spotted the last 2 SEC opponents 17.5 points a game.
It's crazy.
We got to stop. I mean, like, that goes without saying that has to end, and we cannot do that. Because I don't think you're even in a game with Texas if you do that, right?
Yeah.
You can do that against South Carolina and get back, and you can do that against Auburn and get back. But I don't think you can do that against Texas and get back to that. So you have got to go out there from the first snap and be executing.
And Texas is a team that comes out on a script, and Sark's going to have some plays dialed up.
Yeah.
You
have to kill that drive.
You have to kill that first drive. He's going to have some plays dialed up that he knows are going to work.
You could have killed.
And we got to kill it.
You could have South Carolina coming off a bye week. You could have killed that drive on play 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was an 11-play touchdown drive. Could have killed it on play 2. Auburn, Hugh Freeze in that script early was, hey, let's take deep shots. You were unable to get pressure on them early on those throws down the field. You had to kill it before it could get going, because those are always, that's the danger zone.
Mm-hmm.
You said it, Seth. You can't fall behind by much to these guys. They're a momentum. It's a momentum quarterback. It's a momentum play caller. It's a momentum offense. When they get going and they go tempo and they tire you out and they make you uncomfortable and uncertain of run, pass, and all the motion, and you start biting and they go over the top, or you sit back and they screen. Like, it's you have to, like you said, you can't play from behind. And on top of that, this is a really damn good defense. And I said it from day one in the season. I said Notre Dame might be the best defense A&M plays this year. And I said I'm TBD on Texas. And as the season's gone on, they have not played, I don't think they've played one like true quality offense all year. I don't know what offense we're going to see from A&M, because there's been times of late where they've actually looked really good, and then there's been times where they've either been shut down or shot themselves in the foot. But I know the Texas defense is I was questioning if they were truly elite. I think they're as good as any in the country. I mean, again, I go back. It's not the Nick Saban, Bama, or those LSU defenses or Georgia's. But in this year in college football, I don't think there's anybody that you can raise your hand and go, they're definitely better.
Yeah, but I feel
so you can't fall behind.
right, and I feel good about what I've seen out of Marcel Reed week after week after week as he's been playing, as he's getting better, man.
Yeah.
And I think not only like him, but you're going to have Basantis back. And so, I mean, I think that's going to be huge to solidifying our offensive line and getting them going, and they're going to have to get going. We got to get our running game going.
Running game has to.
Yeah, we have to.
Yes, it does.
There's no occasion that we can just be some 3-and-out offense that makes sense. We have to be able to sustain drives and then make a play every now and then.
Nuno?
Yes, sir.
Do you have to go to a break?
We have 5 minutes.
What?
4 to 5 minutes.
Wait, so
You got 5 minutes, dude. It's like all
that's
day.
never happened.
Let me explain to you the
That
why.
means we haven't blown past a break.
That's exactly why.
Or have we blown past
We
one
blown
and we're on to
we
another
blew
one?
past the SEC Mike one, which put us back 5 minutes in the other one, and that I tried to break it as quickly as I could. That gave us a 3-minute segment. Technically, we have 2 minutes, but I like to go longer to upset Louis. So we can go a little longer.
Billy's trying to be Efferblas
But
or
not
whatever
too
that
much
guy's.
longer.
Eberflus?
Eberflus.
You want me to hit a break?
I don't know that guy's name.
How I even knew what he was talking about.
Freaking Bears.
That was the dumbest crap
That
I've
was
ever
the
seen.
worst
Thank
28
goodness.
seconds of football
'Cause they were gonna beat the
I've
Lions.
seen in my life. But let's talk about Texas.
No.
Anyway.
They were going to beat the Lions, and that was insane.
That was horrible. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Do you know what we're talking about? Because
Of course. Yeah.
As I've gone back to look at it, though,
thought maybe
Billy,
you were busy yesterday.
I was, but I know.
at first I blamed the head coach entirely. Now I'm putting like 40% of it on Caleb
Okay,
Williams.
well, it was both.
That was a long, drawn-out play
Yeah.
and changing the call and all that crap, man.
But at some point, as a coach with half a brain, you're like, this is taking too long.
yeah,
I mean,
it was
my
definitely taking.
goodness.
But once you pass that like 15-second
Yeah.
mark, it's kind of like you're in no man's land there. It's like it's on your quarterback at that point. You
Well,
know?
anyways,
it was
brutal.
what a nightmare. What a
God, that's
disaster.
bad.
Luckily,
I'm glad it happened.
Luckily, on Prize Picks, I had Jared Goff for under the number of yards, and it had the
More-
Lions
less
got
than.
less than
That's what
less
we call
than
it.
yeah
Thank
less than. Had they gotten it back, he would have gone. It was real close. He would have gone past it and cost me my.
There
So you
go.
made some money.
So I got a double win.
There we go. Boom.
I got that, and we got a W for Dan, and they're now 11-1. I got something for you guys.
Well, that took 2 minutes to get there, so now we're late.
All right, this is a tease now. Okay, we're
We're
going to read it.
going
and
to
we're
blow
gonna talk
past that break if we
From
kill
Horns
ourselves
to,
to
from
do it.
Horns 247. And again, I don't know who wrote this for Horns 247. I don't know the reliability of it, but they are a primary source for Longhorn news. One source close to the situation said Ewer's ankle sprain wasn't progressing as quickly as actually hoped. The source said there's absolutely still time for the ankle to respond to treatment before Saturday. Monday's practice was more of a walkthrough as Texas put in the game plan for Texas A&M, so not much was required physically of Ewers. Tuesday and Wednesday were more physical practices, and Ewer's ankle was, quote, was in a stiff brace. Quinn took the first snaps with the first team offense, but he was definitely limited, the source said. Ewers has been getting daily treatment on his ankle, which will continue on Thanksgiving Day and Friday. The hope is that the injury will improve by Saturday.
It's a tease. Sorry.
It's a tease. It's definitely a topic we will
Yes.
tackle.
Can we
on the other
legally
side.
do that? Just read the entire article?
It's posted on. Yeah, of course you can. It's
public.
posted
I'm
on
kidding. I'm kidding.
Twitter, and I credited who wrote it.
You want me to read some TexAgs
I
posts while we're at
credited. I credited Horns 247.
I got a Trump
they
post.
read
I got a
TexAgs
Trump
on here every
post
day.
already.
Video. All right, so we just talked about it a moment ago. Quinn Ewers, not completely back to where they thought he would be, at least at this point, still time to progress. It's a storyline in the game. I struggle with storylines now, though, guys.
Is it the storyline?
No, it's a storyline.
Oh, it's definitely a storyline, but
They're building excuses already.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
all
come
it is.
on,
It's-
that's-
They're either building an excuse to lose the game with him or to replace him with
Archie.
Archie.
I don't really care
this is
how they
excuse.
lose the game, okay? They just got to lose this game, man. They just got to lose this game.
You mean you don't care
Look,
about beating them at full strength? is
I
what
don't
you're
care at
saying.
all. In fact, I
I'm
hope
with
they're
you.
not
I'm
at
just
full
kidding.
strength. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Like our defense last week, to me, it was like I was just like at some point you realized that we had to blitz these guys, and we weren't doing anything with only four
No
guys
pressure.
rushing the passer.
Which is
And
weird.
unfortunately, it is what it is. It seems, and we have got to blitz Texas. And we have to, because we don't have it on the back end, and we have to get.
Well, that's the danger,
viewers off
Seth, is
the
that
spot.
if you blitz, you almost have to do it with the linebackers because the second you start bringing safeties and stuff
I'm
like
not
that,
necessarily saying all
and
that.
you get into those man-to-man coverages, man, you really put yourself at risk because our DBs are, they've played admirably at times, but this is the best wide receiver core that we've gone up.
No, and I fully
they can
admit
burn you,
that. I fully admit that. But Cam Coleman's no slouch,
He's not.
but we didn't have a Ewers back there. But you got to get Ewers off his mark.
Oh,
And Archie, I mean, that's a different story.
can
I don't
run.
really. I mean, he's whatever.
But,
In fact, I mean, like I don't know why they don't just play him. But
Yeah.
anyways,
But I mean, for every game this year, and we've talked about how good our defensive line is. For them to be able to get pressure with four people is never been more important than this game.
Paramount.
I mean, and I know Seth and I have talked about it, and he's saying that we haven't gotten much pressure with just four, and I don't disagree. I mean, there's times where we're just not
proving
getting
up,
much
man.
pressure, but
We just haven't done it.
This is the game, guys.
This is the one.
It's like freaking step
and also
up
you're talking about making money.
and get back into that backfield. Even if you don't get your sack, you got to make him move. You got to push him out of the pocket.
Right.
You got to make him feel pressure to take his eyes off the receivers for just a split second. That has to happen, especially on third down.
And you've also got like NFL draft status out there. You've got Banks versus Scorton, and that should be a huge matchup. And Williams is also very good.
It's a prove-it game.
So, yeah, it is.
You want to be a
And,
first
like,
rounder?
There's
Go
no
be a
more
first rounder?
questioning
Wait a second.
or anything about it, man. You go out there and you prove it against guys who are thought to be high draft picks and make your money.
Gotta get that money, man.
Gotta get money.
Agreed 100%. And I said that about the LSU game. And guess what they did? They
And he
went
did
out
it.
and they did it.
He
Both
did
of
it,
them.
yeah, against Campbell.
Him and Shamar Stewart and the whole D-line did
And,
it.
they'll probably do it again this game, man. That crowd is going to be so loud if they get into a third and long. That is a big advantage for your defensive ends.
And speaking of third and long, what we didn't do against Auburn was get in
Third and short?
second and long ever, dude.
Yeah.
Ever. It seemed
We
to be
gotta
they
be
just
better on
hand the
first
ball
down.
off to and I don't want to go too far back to Hunter and just get 5 yards, and they were second and 5 the whole game, and that just makes things impossible.
Got to be better on first down. I agree.
And Texas is not a great running offense, but they've got backs that if they get going,
yeah.
where those backs are so good, Wisner, is it
Trey
Wisner?
Wisner.
Wisner. I liked him out of Waco. Like Waco. Then he went up to DeSoto. Was it DeSoto or Duncan? It was Duncanville, I think. But he went up. It was DeSoto. It was DeSoto. But anyway, he was, I think, out of Waco originally. And I really liked him as a back, and A&M tried to get in there on him late, and they couldn't. And then Jaden Blue is another guy. Look, there was a couple times in Jaden Blue's career at Texas where I don't know how much they talk about it there in Austin, but he was actively looking to bail because there was that is a stacked position there in Austin, or so it was until all these guys got hurt. But if you watch Blue, and look, not to scare tactic you here, but if that guy gets the ball in space, he looks like Devon Achane. He's that fast, and he's smooth like Achane.
That'll scare you.
He can't, to me, and he could for one game, but I mean, over the course of his career, he's not been that down-to-down runner like Achane. Achane can run. Okay.
I was going to say any fumbles.
Oh, I thought you were going to say.
Well, not this week because he's been carrying the ball around school all week. He's been carrying that ball.
Yeah. He does.
The program.
There is no matter how much he carried that ball around this week, there's got to be a lack of 100% trust and confidence on the part of his position and head coach.
Didn't they have 6 against Kentucky?
They did. It was
They had
sloppy.
6 fumbles?
Yeah, they didn't lose them. I think they lost 2 of the 6.
It was sloppy.
That's another thing.
But if you let those guys get the ball in space on the perimeter, where I don't think A&M has been nearly as strong, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And those are going to be – that's where the bulk of Texas' passing yardage is going to come from until it doesn't, and then they're going over your head. So there's a bad combination where we saw Auburn and freaking – I always forget – I actually always forget his name. That's how unimpressed I've been with the guy for 2 years, and he goes and throws for 300. When Auburn's quarterback, Peyton Thorne, can go over your head for that amount of yards, and then you're about to play Texas. And then not to mention –
But you'll notice he never did it when he was pressured. At least I don't remember one time where when he was pressured, he made any pass of note.
Yeah, and Quinn is very inaccurate down the field when pressured, and really in general. But if you let him get into a rhythm with this stuff, you guys will be wide open where he still sometimes misses.
Well, it's good to have Will Lee back. I mean, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, look, a large part of that game, and people crap on, they always are super hard on Jaden Hill, but he's effective as a blitzer. He's effective tackling around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you don't want him to get locked up one-on-one with the wrong guy. It could be a problem. But to have both of them out certainly affected. I'm surprised A&M played as well as they did in the second half defensively. Did y'all talk about the Ewers thing?
Yes, we
We
did.
did a little bit. I mean, we were just talking about, we got to get him
off his mark.
I mean, I don't think
I'm talking about the injury.
Yes, we did.
He's never been a threat to beat you with his legs, but him not being confident in that pocket, or if his ankle's bothering him, he doesn't feel like he can run. Quarterbacks have a tendency to take sacks a little bit quicker,
or they make rush. Yeah, there you go. They make rush
I think
throws.
what it does, David, you think it's gamesmanship. As
I
you
do.
Said. I don't think so at all, because I don't think. I think what's going to happen. What's going to happen is I think what it means is I expect Quinn to start. But I think what it means is if it's a tight game and it's not a pretty offensive game and A&M's playing quality defense,
They'll make it.
I think that guarantees, in my mind, that we're going to see Arch
Look
Manning
for an arch
at some point.
substitution.
Well, and you saw that, Seth, in '99 when they went from
Applewhite to Sims.
No, they went from Sims to Applewhite.
Back to Applewhite. That's right. Yeah.
The reason I struggle with it, Billy, and this is, I may set you off on a tangent here, or it's okay. We have to break.
Tangent me up.
Not even a
That's
tangent.
just an everyday thing.
Tangent's his middle name.
Look, we heard the Peyton Thorne's throwing shoulder was bummed, right? And I just, these things I hear about
Well,
it.
it was because it actually kept him out of action.
But then he threw for 300.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, hurt ankle or not, just get after him.
No. It doesn't mean let your guard down.
Right.
I just don't think it's made up. I think you saw the guy limping around, and I know I'm going to say this. I'm not going off on. We can call this a tangent. You can call it what it will. I've seen you gimping around on an ankle for 6 months when you first got here. Remember that limp?
It wasn't my ankle.
Hamstring.
It was my
Some
hamstring.
jujitsu or what?
Hey, it's called a gangster league.
Like, this guy was limping for half a year on a.
You know, some
And then every time he sees me, he goes,
RDLs or
"Are you
what?
limping?" Yeah, I do RDLs.
So, but no,
Yeah.
jokes aside, these guys know about an ankle sprain. Like, you can finish a game and then all of a sudden you pop up and you ain't playing the next week. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen with Quinn, but I think he's definitely he's going, even though running's not his game, his mobility is going to be.
So I think it
and you have
honestly-
to test that if you're the Aggies. You
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
get
I would
after it.
definitely, I would test it immediately. But it's like, is it just a normal sprain or is it high ankle? High ankle is different. If high ankle,
Yeah.
like that's like he's back there, he's kind of like in a, in a boot basically. If it's that, and that's really, really impactful.
Does he finish the game on a high ankle sprain?
No, I don't think he does.
Especially with them with a substantial lead.
I don't think he does. I
Yeah,
think that,
so it probably
that
wasn't.
he'll get out there, test it.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, in the last
weekend.
game, yeah,
Does
like
he finish
high
one?
ankle's it's like breaking a bone, man. It's
So you,
brutal.
my answer,
It's a regular
like
ankle. That
answer
wasn't
me
a
on
high
that.
ankle,
Okay,
dude.
that's
It
what
wasn't
I'm
a high
saying.
ankle.
Like,
Yeah, it was a
wouldn't have finished
regular
that
ankle.
All right, guys, let's do a little freak of the week.
It's the freak of the week. That was so much better than last week, man. I'm feeling really good.
That makes a
Feeling really
difference
good.
in the game.
It does.
That may have been our best one yet.
Man, I'm going to go right now with Nick Scorton, man. He has got to step up and put pressure on Ewers, Manning, whoever they're going to throw out there. It's probably going to be Ewers, I'm just saying. But anyways, he's a tremendous athlete, and he needs to show it, and he needs to prove why he's a top 10 NFL draft pick going against the top 10 NFL draft pick and tackle Kelvin Banks. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a huge night for him, and we're going to need him to step up.
We need him to be the very best Nick Scorton we've seen.
Right, for sure.
I mean, I would make it Nick Scorton and Shamar Stewart.
Yeah,
I think both
whatever.
of them. Both of those ends need to have their best game. I'm going to go with Marcel Reed. I mean, I think he's going to be a big key to us being able to win this football game. If he can continue to throw as well as he has been, we need to use his legs more, in my opinion. I think we need more designed runs. We need more zone read where he has the option to keep it. We got to make that a threat. We got to force them to defend not only vertically, but horizontally the entire field.
And Texas has not been challenged by a quarterback all year, man.
They haven't.
They've got, two guys have thrown for 200 yards, and it was like 203 and 205 or something.
But I mean,
We just got to challenge him and
you
make
look,
it an
you look at what
effective
Marcel's
game.
done. I mean, even in the 2 losses, I mean, he's been very effective throwing the ball,
Yeah.
moving the offense down the field, getting us out of 3rd and 10s.
Yeah,
And we're getting 1 yard on first down.
which normally would kill you, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he was very effective in 3rd down and 3rd and long situations. But yeah, Marcel Reed's my freak of the week.
All right, Billy, your freak of the week.
Yeah, I thought Marcel, it's me and McGee sat here, and McGee, this is the quarterback coach he is, picked apart all the missed opportunities that Marcel didn't throw the ball to in terms of open receivers in the pass game. And both can be true, because I thought Marcel played a hell of a game the other night. To come back from 21-0 down, to bail you out so many times, and even as McGee said, he made some terrific throws. I think we're just watching the progression of a star in the making at
Yeah, I
quarterback.
believe it,
And
too.
what better way to just cap it off than to have a McGee-like performance against Texas, where Steven was bogged down by the Fran offense for so long. They unleashed him. He threw for 330 in a win over Texas as a junior.
And just ran up the score, huh?
Yeah.
Big high-scoring game.
It was like 38-20. Yeah, it was
a beautiful
38-31,
thing, man.
but even it was pretty one-sided. But I've been so impressed with myself. My freak of the week, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go back to one that I've said before, and I think I'm going to, on offense, it's got to be, I think Noah Thomas has to have that kind of game. He just had one. He has to do it again. Like, to beat Texas, your skill guys are going to have to come up big. And for Marcel to have that kind of night, Steve, his guys are going to have to make plays. And Noah Thomas has had a couple really big games in SEC play. He's become more and more consistent. And I think you're going to have to connect with him down the field to help. You've got to attack this Texas defense vertically to get them out of there so you can run the football. So him on offense, defensively, I'm going actually. I saw him give up a touch, I think. You never know coverages and stuff, but last week I'm going Dalton Brooks. An interception and a sack and a couple tackles for loss for 25.
I like that.
Pride of Shiner, Texas. He probably grew up watching the Aggies and Longhorns. I'm going Dalton Brooks on
He would have been pretty young.
I'm in with that.
Time
13 years.
for the Sleeper of the Week, presented by the Sleep Station. Go see Jerry McLeod and ask about the Tempur-Pedic mattress or the Purple mattress in the Specs parking lot at Texas and Harvey in front of the Lowe's and William D. Fitch and Highway 6, the website, thesleepstation.com. All right, Steve McKinney, yours.
Just before I get that, I have to comment because Billy, as he said, Dalton Brooks grew up watching this game, and I was like, "Yep, he would have been really young." I wonder if the kids on this team really understand the meaning of this game to the fans. I mean, I think they kind of do, but I don't think until you've actually experienced it and lived it and played in this game a couple times, can you really appreciate the importance of this.
So, like, since you're talking about this, you mentioned it earlier about the emotions as a player. Of all of my games in college, I remember the least about the Texas game playing it than any other game. And I'm like, I just always go back to it must be just the emotion and hype surrounding the game that I just remember playing it, coming out going, I don't remember anything.
Wow.
I agree, dude.
What was your record against Texas?
I was my redshirt year. I'm counting that. I was 2-3. We got the '99 game, lost in '98, and then in 2000, 2001, we got beat.
And I was 2-2.
You're
and
counting your
my
redshirt
senior
year to get to 2-3, or did you
That's
win
right.
your
I'm
redshirt
counting
year?
my redshirt.
So you were
I was
1
on
and
this
3.
team.
That was my senior year, Billy. He's counting my senior year.
But wait, so you
I was
were
on
one-
this team. I got a ring for the Big 12 South that we
did.
got blown out in.
and then you
And then
came
I
in
won
and
it
they won
next
it.
year.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, you're not claiming that one. Now, are you? You're not
Wait, but
counting
you
that
were
one.
1 and 3 against Texas?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, Seth.
Yeah, that sucks.
How many times did you cry as a kid growing up? But they won every year.
Well, so
when you were a
I can
kid.
distinctly
As a
remember. I
non-player,
remember
no.
going to the
Like growing
Texas
up
game.
though, A&M owned Texas for y'all, right?
One of my we destroyed Texas, and one of my distinct memories as a kid is going to the Texas game in like 1991 or 2, going to Austin, and the announcer, I distinctly remember he was doing testing 1, 2, and he got like all the way up to 10, but every time they got to like 7 or 8, I can't exactly remember, the crowd would go crazy because that was the Aggie crowd going crazy because that was the number of times we were about to beat them in a row. If we ended up beating, but that was the game we lost.
When
And I
Bucky
didn't
went
talk-
for 2.
Yes, and I
Or when RC went for 2,
and I didn't talk to my buddy. He was a big Longhorn fan. I didn't talk to him the whole ride home. I was just devastated.
pissed.
after that
Yeah.
loss.
And what was your record?
I was 2-2. Won my freshman year and my senior year.
Okay.
So
That senior year game I talked about the other day, that was the lightning storm, and
Yes.
it was like
I had a helmet full of rain
so
from
much
just
water.
standing on the
You know what's funny? I
sideline.
got to tell you this, Billy. So much like Seth, I kind of completely forgot about all the little intricacies of that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember winning it. I remember it rained like 8 inches, but I don't remember any other thing about the game other than we won.
yeah.
So somebody had sent me a link to I think Seth did, of all the like A&M wins of the past like 30 years. And I
Yeah.
remember going back and watching that whole game just to remember it. Do you remember how we sealed the win on that game? Do you remember how we sealed the victory? I bet you don't.
Give me a hint. Give me the name
I'm not
of who
giving
was
you a
involved.
hint.
Give me the name of who was
Just
involved.
tell
I
it.
can't. So
Okay.
it's like we're up by
You made a crackback block.
no.
Okay.
No. We were up like 2 scores.
Okay.
We had the ball. There's still like 5 minutes left to go in the game, 4 minutes left to go. Basically, we get another first down. It was a 3rd down play. We get the first down, the game's over. Like, they'll never have enough time. 3rd and like 10, we throw a pass to a little-known tight end at the time named Dan Campbell.
Oh, wow.
And Dan goes, he'd probably caught 2
And
balls.
he ran a pretty good gain, right?
He'd probably caught 2 balls the whole year. And he caught this ball and went like 25, 30 yards. And I remember I was the first one to him, just jumping all over him. I was like, oh, I don't even remember that.
I love it.
That was so great. I was like, there's old Dan.
Billy, you wanted to keep the show on track.
Yeah.
Yes,
Come on.
sleeper. I'm going to tell you
Sleeper.
my sleeper real quick. The offensive line, man, they're going to have a great night of sleep. I know I'm going opposite of what this means, but they're going to wake up rested and dominate this game, and we're going to need it. So I'm picking the offensive line as my sleeper.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
Okay.
I'm going to go with my sleeper on I'm going to go sleeper on offense. I am going to go with. I'm picking between two guys. I have a feeling I'm going to go Trey Watson.
Okay.
Sleeper.
All right.
Couple big catches by either a big game by both of them or a couple big catches by 84. And then defensively, I'm going to go. It's not necessarily a sleeper, but I'm going to go with Albert Regis coming up huge on Saturday.
I'm gonna go a little different from both of you guys. I'm gonna go with an actual coach as my sleeper. I think this is the week you're gonna see a Colin Klein offense that we haven't seen all year in entirety. Now we've seen little pieces of it in games, but I think this is going to be the game that he's saved it all for. He's held nothing back for this game, and they've beaten him as an offensive coordinator. They've played really well against Texas, at Kansas State, at Texas.
Yeah.
I think he knows how to call against these guys, and I think this is going to be the game that we really see the offense that we were hoping to see.
Sidebar, he dialed up just a phenomenal play on that last play of the game. That was
I
hate
unearthly.
I was reading during the game, and people are getting pissed as we were down 21-0. I kept seeing stuff about Klein. I'm like, and they moved the ball the whole game.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good SEC defense. It's like above middle of the pack defense. They were like third against the run. Like I thought he dialed up a hell of a game last week.
For sure.
So that's a winning formula right there.
All right.
All right, we'll hit a Prize Picks time. The Pick Six
PPT.
brought to you by Prize Picks here on the final countdown. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to receive a guaranteed $50 once you play in $5 lineups. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. McKinley Polanski.
Yes.
The games.
Yes. Michigan is traveling to number 2 Ohio State. They're playing at 11 a.m. at Ohio Stadium. It will be on Fox, and Ohio State is favored by 20.5 points.
This is
20 and a half.
I mean, come on.
Holy crap.
Not in a game like this.
This is
Can
at
I
Ohio
give you
State?
This is like, if this happens, I'd be shocked. I'm going to have to go with Michigan can cover this. I know they're not very good, but
First of all, are
That's
those
a blowout,
the rankings that you put out this morning, are those accurate?
yes, point of order on that.
No,
Let's get a
sorry.
recount. Let's
Those
get a
are
recount.
accurate. They just put everybody from the same order as
Yeah.
last week and just put the record next
Nuno's
to it.
not. He doesn't have the best formula for presenting.
So that
So that
was
is
accurate.
true.
Okay.
I don't write it.
I'm sorry. I just
Just a point of order.
Well, your people.
They're your people.
Yeah, get your people. Get your people in order.
So yeah, basically me, Seth, and Billy are all separated by like 2 games. So this week will determine it all.
Okay, so you guys are doing your little dance. Who'd you pick?
It's at Ohio State? God dang it. All right, give me Michigan.
There we go. I picked up a game. Ohio State's going to blitz them right out of Dodge.
I agree.
Jim Harbaugh used to do that to Ohio State. They're returning the favor right now.
don't
Ohio
know.
State's going to rail them.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead, McKinn.
You don't know which way to go with that?
What? You thought I was about to say McKenzie? What is McKinn?
But what's
McKinnon.
that?
McKinley.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I know that. But
Okay.
Number 15, South Carolina, is traveling to number 12, Clemson. They're playing at Memorial Stadium at 11 a.m. on ESPN, and Clemson is favored by 2.5 points.
Not only is South Carolina going to cover, they're going to win this game. So South Carolina.
I'll take Clemson. For no other
what's the
reason than
spread?
2.5
that
points.
they're at home and they're rivals. I'm going with Clemson.
There's too much buzz about South Carolina. They're getting too much love. I'm going Austin Westlake and Cade Klubnik
The club.
Seth would pick against his high school.
to win. I'm going Clemson. They remember what South Carolina did to them 2 years ago. I think Clemson.
It's Separation
I think
Saturday,
Clemson
baby.
gets this one. Actually, I changed my mind. South Carolina
What?
to cover and win.
What the?
Boom.
What a
Billy,
flip flop that was.
Ridiculous.
Jeez.
All right. McKinley.
I'm out on an island
No.
here.
Number 5, Notre Dame, is traveling to USC. They're playing at 2:30 p.m. at the Coliseum on CBS, and Notre Dame is favored by 7.5 points.
Notre Dame's going to cover this.
I'll take
I'm
Notre
picking
Dame. I got
Notre
Notre Dame too.
Same. I like Notre Dame. They've been actually quietly just rolling through people lately. And USC, Dry fit Riley.
Love to see it.
Longstreet can sit there and watch Notre Dame just.
Think he burnt
pummel.
some brisket for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, absolutely. He burnt the turkey. That'd be the driest turkey in the greater Los Angeles area.
Auburn is traveling to number 13 Alabama. They're playing at Bryant-Denny Stadium at 2:30 p.m. on ABC, and Alabama is favored by 11.5 points.
Oof.
I don't think that Auburn is going to be as lucky as they were last week to start out with just a ridiculous lead. And so I'm going to pick Alabama to cover this game.
I'm staying with you, Seth. I'll take Alabama.
I'm going to take Auburn to cover, Alabama to win. I think
Okay.
Alabama's flawed. I think they're greatly flawed.
Number 24 Kansas State is traveling to number 18 Iowa State. They're playing at Jack Trice Stadium at 6:30 p.m. on Fox. Iowa State is favored by 2.5 points.
What a just no-name type of game we're picking here. I don't even know what to do. I hate both these schools. No offense to my buddy Lance, but like, just come on. The fact that Iowa State is 18 just hurts my heart. But regardless, I don't know. Where's it at? Jack Tice. I'm gonna pick Iowa State to cover.
Yeah, I guess I'll take Iowa State too. I don't really have a dog in that fight.
Read that to me again.
Exactly.
Iowa State by 2.5.
At
Kansas.
Iowa
Kansas
State.
State
Kansas
and
State.
Iowa State.
I'm going to go Kansas State to cover on the road, maybe win.
Wow, this is really going to determine the winner. There's
Separation
no ties
Friday.
I
this
don't like
week.
Iowa State. I don't like their team.
Won't be any
I haven't
ties
liked
this
them.
week.
I don't have anything.
One more.
Last but not least, number 3 Texas is traveling to number 20 Texas A&M. They're playing at Kyle Field at 6:30 p.m. It will be on ABC, and Texas is favored by 5.5 points.
Who's got the balls to go
I'll
opposite
go
on
first
this one?
on this, man. I think Texas is walking into a hornet's nest, baby. This is going to be the craziest environment that these guys have ever seen. The A&M players don't know what's coming. The Texas players don't know what's coming because, like you said earlier, they were just too young to have ever seen this environment and never felt the level of hatred that is about to be unleashed on this game. And I think that our guys are going to match the occasion. It's not going to be easy at all, and it's not going to be a gimme. But I think that A&M wins this game, and they're going to cover this. That's just the way that I feel. It's going to be a hard-fought game, and we're going to pull it out in the end and go to the SEC championship game. Boom.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. I'm completely with you on that one, Seth. I don't think there's any chance that Texas rolls in here and beats A&M by 5.5 points. I think A&M will cover. I think they'll win outright. I think that we're going to see the best atmosphere in the history of college football, and I think we're going to storm the field. And Seth will
And I'm
be
okay with that. I will be there.
and you will see a
Hopping
video
along.
of Seth hopping along somewhere on the field because we're going to storm it. If we win, I'll see you guys down at the 50, okay?
Let's party.
I'll be there.
Well, guys,
Uh-oh.
I hate to say it, but
Here it comes.
have I ever picked Texas to beat A&M in football? I don't know because we weren't doing picks.
I was about to say, I don't know.
Do I think Texas has been the better football team this year to date? Yes. Did I think A&M's been the better football team to date heading into the Auburn game? Yes. Do I think they were the better team to date heading into South Carolina? Yeah. Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama, Vandy, Alabama, OU. This is what Texas has not, Kentucky, Ole Miss. This is what Texas has not had to deal with this year when everyone else has. I think Texas A&M wins a very close game or loses a very close game. I think this is a field goal game. I think it's a dogfight from wire to wire. I think I've seen the bigger gap between these teams where the lesser team has competed down to the wire. Vince Young almost lost here. Colt McCoy almost lost here. We've seen you guys have been a part of some good A&M teams that have either barely won or almost lost. The 98 Big 12 champs lost there. I think this is a close game that could go either way. I like A&M to win it on the strength of the 12th man. And Steve, I'm with you. I think Colin Klein figures out how to get the tough yards and sometimes the big plays against this defense that no one nationally is thinking when they're breaking down this game. They don't see that happening. That's what I think happens, and it's just enough. I don't think it's like an up and down. It's just enough to win. I think a key turnover late in favor of the Aggies swings this. I think the Aggie defense, whether it's a stop to win it, a la 1998, or whether it's a game-turning pick or fumble recovery,
A la
in the final 5 minutes.
1999.
A la 1999.